Hi, grade 5, how are you? Today we're gonna start chapter 5, lesson 1, geography of the colonies. Okay, you remember, guys, last time we stopped at when England started to claim lands in America and they established the most famous and the first English colonies in America, which are Roanoke Colony and Jamestown Colony. Okay, today we're gonna learn about how England established all their colonies in America. Guys, during the period from 1600 to 1700, this 100 years, more Europeans moved to America searching for better life, more jobs, and freedom. Okay, so the English settlers, when they took some land, or when they took, you remember in the last lesson, they took only lands of Roanoke and Jamestown. But after they took most of the lands along the Atlantic Ocean and they established 13 English colonies in East America along the Atlantic Ocean. Look at the map. This is east of America, north, south, east, west. So this is the east of America. They took all east of America and they established 13 colonies. How many colonies they established? 13 colonies. And they divided these 13 colonies into three regions. Into three what regions? This is the north region, this is the middle, and this is the southern regions. Okay, this northern colonies are called the New England colonies. The northern colonies are called New England colonies, and this is in middle. Okay, is called middle colonies, and what's in south here called southern colonies. So England took all the states, all the land here along the Atlantic Ocean, and divide them into three regions. So look here, England sent settlers established 13 English colonies in the east along the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, what about the north and what about the south? What about the west? This is America. North of America here, guys, is settled by France. South of America is settled by Spain. And west of America, no, it's not settled by anyone because here lies the Appalachian Mountains, and rarely to find the people live around the mountains. Okay, so here in north where the French settlers, they called their land New France. In south where the Spanish settlers, we took that in term one, and they called their land New Spain. Okay, in west were the Appalachian Mountains and no one settled around the mountains. Okay, let's speak now about the east again. East of America is settled by England, and the English people divided the 13 colonies of the east into three groups, or into three regions: New England region, middle colonies, and southern colonies. Let's start by New England colonies. The New England colonies, this region include one, two, three, four, five states. What are these five states? Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Okay, again, guys, this is Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Okay, farming, guys, in New England was very difficult. Why? It's very difficult to hear. This area, this area, New England colonies, this area, the land of this area is too sandy and full of rocks. That's why they couldn't farm this land. So farming was difficult in New England colonies because the land filled with rocks and also it's so sandy. They couldn't farm this land. Okay, the land also has many forests and rugged mountains, which made farming difficult in New England. Also, the summers were warm and the winters were long, so the growing season was short. The growing season was short. What the meaning of growing season? Growing season means the time, okay, in which plants grow. Growing season means the time in which plants grow. So here, because the winter is very long, they couldn't farm many kinds of plants. Also, the land is rugged. So when I ask you here, the New England colonists, they could farm the land? No, they couldn't farm. Why? Because number one, the land is filled with rocks and sandy. Okay, it's not good for farming. Number two, the growing season is very short. Growing season means the time in which plants grow. So it's very short. They farm, yeah, they farm, but very little amount or very little kinds of plants. Okay, so what did they work? They work, guys, in using the other resources found in the northern east. What are the resources? Wood of the forest. They used wood to make in building and making furniture, and also catching whales. Okay, so the people of New England colonies, they didn't farm, but they work in cutting wood and catching whales. That's Let's move to the middle colonies. These are the middle colonies. Look, what's in green here are the middle colonies. The middle colonies, guys, this region includes New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Okay, here is in the middle colonies, crops grow well in the middle colonies. Why? Because the soil is fertile. So because of their fertile soil. Also, the middle colonies the growing season of the middle colonies are much longer. Okay, the growing season means that the time in which plants grow is longer. Also, what happened? The middle colonies has two rivers. The middle colonies has two rivers. They are Delaware River and Hudson River. And of course, the river provide water, okay, and that's good for farming. The woods were full of wildlife, so colonists hunted animals such as deer and beaver. Yes, the writer said that they also have some kinds of wood, so some of the colonists hunted some animals such as deer and beaver. But we speak mainly about growing plants. Yes, they could grow plants. Why? Because the growing season is longer. The first number two, they had two rivers. Okay. Now, the southern colonies. If we speak about the southern colonies, this region includes Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, four states. And the land of the southern colonies is called tidewater. What the meaning of tidewater? If the name of land is tidewater or the type of the land is tidewater, it means that the water in rivers and streams means short rivers, rises and falls every day, okay, with the ocean tide. That's why, guys, the climate and the soil were excellent for farming. So the soil is fertile because it receives big amounts of water and rain. So again, when this is the map, look, what's in red is the New England colonies, green middle colonies, purple southern colonies. New England colonies, no farming. Okay, no farming. Why? Because the land is rugged, filled with rocks and sandy. Okay, so people here worked in hunting animals and catching whales. The middle colonies, no, the middle colonies is good, the soil is good for farming because they had two rivers, Hudson River and Delaware River. Okay, and also the growing season is much longer. Here is the southern colonies. The southern colonies also there were farming in the southern colonies. Why? Because the land was tide water land. So it's a perfect land or it's perfect soil for farming. The land is full of water, okay? So they farmed all kinds of vegetables and fruits. This is was the summary of the 13 colonies that were established or that the English people established along the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, guys, if you have any question, contact me anytime. Thank you and goodbye.